Welcome to the Love Kanika podcast. My name is Kanika,
My name is Benita.
and we are back. Feels good to
Happy
be
New
back.
Year. Yes, it
Happy
is.
New Year to everybody. It feels good to be back. We've been gone for like a month. Um,
Yes.
I had a little outpatient surgery that I went through. So I had to heal, but I'm feeling a whole lot better. Whole
Excellent.
lot better. And I'm happy to be back to chop it up in 2023 with y'all.
Sheesh. Seemed like we
Yeah.
just said 2022 not too
I
long ago.
know. Like time is flying. That's why you got to enjoy
It
your life
is.
and love people that love you, and vice versa. Because time is flying. I was just 23. Now I'm 45.
Sheesh.
It went by fast, but that's okay.
Man.
Happy to see it. Happy to see it.
Yes.
So, welcome. If you are new to my channel, my name is Kanika, and we do this. We usually do this show on Wednesday night. Had some technical difficulties last night, had to get corrected. So that's why we're pushing the show to today. But we do the show every Wednesday at 7:30. We'll be doing it every Wednesday at 7:30. So please subscribe, like the video, turn on your notification because we're going to be bringing you good, juicy content like we did last year. Great
Yes.
discussions, thought provoking, depth, and hopefully discussions that can help you, like it has helped us. Change your life, get on a better track, be happy. All the things that we've learned over the years, we want to share with you.
Yes.
So please, please, please subscribe and come back. We will appreciate you. So today we're going to talk about self-love. We're going to talk about what self-love really means, and how we learn to love ourselves, and how you can also start to love yourself. So Vanita, for you, what does self-love mean for you? Like, what does that consist of for you?
It is setting boundaries for myself more than anything. Whatever guidelines and standards that I perceive is going to make me happy, being able to set those standards and then set the boundaries around if something comes in that doesn't look positive or good to make me happy and what I'm looking for, then I don't allow it in.
You exit out of your life.
Yes.
Absolutely. Boundaries is a huge thing for showing yourself love, because if you don't have boundaries for your life, people will run over you. They'll try to
They
use you,
will.
play you, run over you, talk slick, all of that. You have to set a standard for yourself and not allow anybody to cross that boundary,
Exactly.
no matter
And
who
we're
it is.
talking, I was going to say the exact same thing, what you just said. We're talking family, friends, co-workers, managers,
Yeah,
your mom, your dad, your kids,
that's a
like
big one.
all of those
Yeah,
individuals, your significant other, whomever it is. If it doesn't feel good or they're not uplifting you in some kind of positive way, I'm not for it.
absolutely. So one of my favorite um pastors on YouTube, Bishop
Hmm.
R.C. Blakes. If you don't follow Bishop R.C. Blakes, you need to, particularly if you female. Well, men
Yes.
too, but if you female, Bishop R.C. Blakes, he is a phenomenal teacher when it comes to talking about the importance of loving ourselves, particularly
Hmm.
women, because women, we're more indoctrinated and easily manipulated by society and other
Exactly.
things. So it's really important for us to become aware of how important it is to love yourself and to nurture yourself and to
Yes.
um, choose yourself despite what you will be told or what you've been indoctrinated to believe you should do.
Hmm.
You come first. So I wanted
That's right.
I saw this, he did a live talk, kind of talking about keys to happiness, and it was like he had
Hmm.
5 keys to
Steps.
happiness, yeah, that
Hmm.
thought were phenomenal, that we
They
want
are.
to talk about tonight. So I'm going to share a little bit of what he said. We're not going to listen to it all. I'm going to skip around, but we're going to listen to some of the things that he talked about in the live, and Vanita and I will stop the video to kind of talk about it and how we relate to what he's saying, because I think it
Hmm.
is imperative, particularly for women, Black women, really, to get this, because Black women, we really do deal with low self-worth collectively. And
Yep.
that comes from a lot of places, not having daddies, always being looked at as sexual beings and sexual
Hmm.
objects, and and not people, your parents, or lack thereof. You didn't have parents. So this low self-worth is rooted, and it stems, it can go all the way through your life until you heal it. And that's what he's kind of talking about here in the video. So I'm gonna go ahead and share. Like I said, we're not gonna listen to the whole thing. We're gonna skip around, but let me go ahead and share it. Hold on. Present. Share screen. Okay, hold on, guys. Okay, let me make sure. Share system audio. Okay, so let me. I'll put this on the side here. Okay, all right, so here we go.
Well, hello, this is ours. Of course, excited to be able
Fair
to share
use.
with
This is
you
for
once
educational
again
purposes. I want to bring
today.
this video.
If
that.
you would, invite some others to come in and to be a part of this amazing discussion. Now, today we're really just dealing with the psychology of a queen conscious woman. How does we're talking about how a queen manufactures and maintains
Self-love.
some, because this is going to really revolutionize and change lives. How queens manufacture and maintain their own happiness, because one of the things you'll notice as you move about in the world, and I mean this is consistent from culture to culture, from religion to religion, from country to country, women that are queen conscious are not dependent on anyone themselves for their happiness. They take responsibility for their happiness. They take ownership of their happiness, and one impede upon their happiness. In fact, about it, a woman is queen conscious, and she discovers that any person on any level that interferes with her or challenges her peace, she eliminates that individual from her equation.
I'm gonna
And
fast first
so,
one that he talked about, the first so that little bit so we can get through as much as possible. I'm having technical difficulties again.
I was going to say you're buffering a little bit.
I am. Okay, hold on.
herself, the value is there. And there you find a woman that feels desirable. Not necessarily in the eyes.
Let me back up.
I was going to say, did you go a little too far?
Happy where? From the inside
I
out,
think so.
inside in. Happiness is authentic. It is consistent. Now, a happy woman is a woman that feels at peace. Never see a woman that's happy. There you see a woman, there you're observing a woman that feels at peace. She feels safe. She feels provided for. Even if she's providing for herself, the provisions are there. She feels valued. Even if she has to value herself, the value is there. And there you find a woman that feels desirable. not necessarily in the eyes of some other specific individual, but when she herself, she feels desirable. Now, those are just a few things. Now, let me jump right in. Number one, how does a woman set us up for this self-manufactured happiness? Number one, these are practical points. So buckle up. Number one, liking yourself in the mirror, liking what you see in the mirror as a woman. It's important for a woman to like what she sees in the mirror. You know, we as guys, we can walk past the mirror and gut can be hanging. Hey, ask me how I know. We can walk past the mirror. We can see ourselves, man, it's a complete mess. Go on about our day with no second thought to it. Don't care what nobody think about it. You know, just don't care.
I want to start right here because that is a big one.
Huge.
Looks are playing such a big role in how we feel about ourselves, particularly weight.
Mm-hmm.
There is a weight issue amongst Black women. I go up and down. I suffer from it. Vanita
Same
suffers
here.
from it. She goes up and down. A lot of us are battling weight issues. And a lot of that comes from depression. It comes from putting everybody first and not taking care of yourself. And I think a lot of the not taking care of yourself comes from just not feeling worthy of you should or you can, because you got the kids, you got the family, your job, everything else and everybody else is coming before you. So when is there time to work out? You're stressed, so you probably going through the drive-through. I know I go through the drive-through or whatever. And you look up and you done gained 50 pounds.
Quickly.
It comes on quickly. So
it does.
One of the keys to being happy for definitely women, like he said, it's different from women than it is from men. Men can kind of get away with it, but one of the keys, top things, is we gotta start taking care of our bodies. We gotta start taking care of our bodies, ladies. It's not impossible, I don't think, to be happy if you're not happy with your looks, but it's damn sure gonna be harder. If you walk,
it's a struggle.
Yeah, if you walk by the mirror and you feel like I'm fat as hell, you know what I mean? Or
you have to look at the energy that you're letting off as well. So if you don't feel sexy or cute or desirable in your own clothes to yourself, what energy do you perceive that you're giving off to everybody else in the world? Because they're really going to see you exactly how you see you.
Absolutely.
So it dims your light. It brings your shine for yourself down when you don't like you.
It's an energy.
It is.
And you know, everybody's vibrating on a certain energetic level, and then you draw in. If you don't like yourself, then you're gonna draw in people who ain't gonna like you neither.
Exactly.
That's why it's so important to work on your body. We gotta start watching what we eat, all of that. And I love food, so it's definitely hard for me because I love to eat. I'm a foodie. And I love the bad. I love pasta. I love hamburgers. I love everything that's bad. So I really have to, to be mindful and conscious, because I spread like a pancake. And then it affects the way I feel. It really does. Even dating. I can see the difference in me when I'm smaller versus when I gain weight, even in dating. Just everything about it, I could just feel a difference. So he's right. Number one, we gotta get these looks together. We gotta get these bodies together.
You have to like what you see in the mirror, like he said.
For you. So we're gonna go on to the next one. He has said some more, so I'm trying to get through it as quickly as we can. So we're gonna go on to number 2. Hold on. It is. Okay. All right. So this is number 2.
Suit fits right and it's very comfortable. Man, my esteem goes through the.
Yes, it does.
The
When you
Bible
look
talks
good,
about we're fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are the works of God. And then it says, that my soul knoweth right well. When you're convinced that you are the stuff
yes,
in your own mind, the world ain't
absolutely.
ready for you.
I agree.
Mhm.
And queens understand that they have to keep themselves together, not for somebody else, but for themselves.
Exactly.
Number 2, how does a queen, how do queens set themselves up for self-manufactured and maintained happiness? Take charge of your money.
Hmm.
Take charge of your money, because money is a big part to rest in and just be happy.
I can't even function when my finances are out of whack.
I'm not focusing on
Like, it's
anything
hard for
until
me
my
to,
finances are together.
I can't do it. Like, it really
Mm-hmm.
throws, like, stability for me is everything.
Mm-hmm.
When my
Exactly.
money is
I
out of
don't know
whack,
how people. Yeah, I don't know how people function without their money being
right.
set up. Like
Or depending on a man to take care of you, or depending on oh no. Like he said,
mm-mm.
happiness and peace comes with financially being good. It does.
Yes, ma'am.
And I don't care what
Most
nobody
definitely.
says. Money
Yes.
plays a big part of your happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And so if that ain't in order, then you're gonna be feeling some kind of way. For
Period.
sure. For sure. Okay, let me go to 26. That's pretty self-explanatory.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this one I really want to delve into, because this is a
This
big
is
one.
number 3.
This is number 3.
I hope this is making sense to you. Number 3. How does a queen conscious woman manufacture and maintain her own happiness? By clearing your mind. She constantly clears her mind of other people's thoughts about her. The average women hold on to what people think. Little man can say something intention, and you living for years, that thing just playing over and over again in your mind like a loop. Well, a queen conscious woman that manufactures and maintains her own happiness, she can, the words of some illicit individual like that, because she has a process of clearing her mind of other people's thoughts about her. She does not care what other people think about her.
This is so important because women are so deeply invested in what people think about them, particularly what men think about them. Women we go above and beyond to try to get validation from men. And you're programmed that way. And he kind of talks about this in the video, how society, particularly men, because men run society, they do, so they make the rules. They indoctrinate you to believe certain things. Believe that your validation and worth comes from them choosing you. That's why they make a big deal about marriage. It ain't the men want to really be married like that because they really don't. But it's the control. It's like, I
That's all
get
it
to pick
is.
you. I get to tell you. I get to say whether or not you're worthy of being picked. And then when we go all around the mulberry bush, it's getting better now. Thank God women are finally waking up. But we go way all around the mulberry bush trying to get them to see us, pick us, choose us, because we want that validation. It's indoctrinated. That's why he says it's important to clear your mind of what everybody thinks of you. If a man don't think you're beautiful or worthy or whatever, he don't want to do this or he don't want to get into a relationship with you, so he ain't the
Exactly.
one.
Exactly.
Stop
That's
putting
when those
God,
boundaries that we were
yeah.
talking about earlier, that if they don't want you, why would you want them?
Stop
That's
putting
ludicrous.
so much stock into what other people think and feel, particularly
Mhm.
men, because women got this bad. Men care about one thing primarily. Okay. So all of this going around and know their dish we do as women trying to get them to validate our existence is for what? Because just look where it has gotten you now. Ain't nobody hardly with the person they was with or with their baby's father, baby's mother, all of that. You're not even with them. We do all of this stuff trying to get validation from the outside world, not just men, from the outside world. And you're just gonna end up upset and sad because
Yep.
people gonna think and do what they're gonna do.
Period.
See yourself the way that, let me tell you, if you watched my video on I Have a Twin Flame, I talked about this seeking validation thing that I used to do or did with this particular person, that I was dating back in the day. I talked about it in the video. If you haven't, go watch it. Go watch it. It's called I Have a Twin Flame. But I felt like he was better than me. Like I
Mhm.
felt like I wasn't worthy of him, and I did things to seek validation from him. And go into detail in the video, but God had to show me, thank God stopped me and showed me that you got to stop trying to seek love and validation outside of yourself. Clear your mind, stop thinking about what he thinks or what they think, if he think you're good enough or not, and see yourself the way I see you. That took some healing and it took some years because I had been so indoctrinated, not even some consciously knowing it and some not, of thinking that, I want to be accepted by him. Have you been through that, V, where you really didn't know your worth and you wanted to be accepted by a certain man or a certain group?
Most definitely. Most
Yeah.
definitely. Yes. I have went round and round and round thinking something was wrong with me, actually. I used to
Yeah.
always think something was wrong with me, or I was broken, or
Yeah.
I was going crazy or something like that, because I felt like I wasn't accepted. I've always been the oddball out or thought different than most. So it was always an awkward type situation. And it was like, why do you think that way? And it's like, well, because I do. I don't know. It didn't make any sense to me. I'm a very logical thinker. So if it didn't make any sense to me, I didn't go with it. And that backfired in my mind, not knowing that, well, God was showing me you're not supposed to.
That's
You're
right.
supposed to be your own individual.
Absolutely.
You're,
Absolutely.
you don't need to be part of the crowd. You are who you are. You came into this world to be who you are. They're here to be who
Absolutely.
they are. So, realize that, understand that, love you more. Because I used to tear myself down behind it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Trying to fit in.
That way, trying to fit in.
Yeah, we got to stop caring about what people think, what they say. People going to do and say. Don't they say they talked about Jesus? You can do no, even if you're doing the right thing all the time, somebody's gonna say something.
Somebody's
People
always
are
not
gonna
going to
talk.
be, yes, somebody's
Period.
always not going to agree with whatever it is. It's always going to be somebody that thinks opposite of you. But I would say always hold strong to what you believe. And if, it is something that you believe, you're going back and forth and you feel like maybe your mind can be changed because of the facts, that's okay. But do it because you want to and not because society is telling you to.
That's all he's saying.
That's
Listen
it.
to your divine guidance. And that
Yes.
comes from the universe. It comes from God. It doesn't come
Mhm.
from the peanut gallery. It doesn't come
Yes.
from the matrix. It doesn't come from society. It doesn't come from men. It doesn't come from women. It comes from God. So
Comes from God.
who cares what people, who care? Who cares? They're just words. People are going to talk. Learn to brush it off. Learn to not care. Sometimes y'all be too invested in what people think, what they say, how they feel about you. So what? That's theirs to have.
And ladies, I will say it can be difficult sometimes when it's your family or friends. You feeling like, well, dang, maybe I am tripping, or maybe I am this, or maybe I am that. But hold on to what you believe, regardless of who the person is.
Absolutely.
It does not matter.
What you believe about yourself.
Yes.
Because that's all that matters.
That's it. You have to ask yourself, is that what you believe in you?
That's it.
Ask yourself that. Do you believe that? And really study that.
All that matters. Because either people are going to accept you or they not.
Period.
Period point blank. And if they don't, that's okay. They're not for you. They're not your tribe. They're not your soul tribe.
Exactly.
That's okay. Everybody ain't meant to be in your life. And that's okay.
That is true. Yep.
To keep on pushing. Okay, we're going to go to number 4.
All righty.
Yeah, 32.
Your own thoughts about you. Doesn't matter what I say. Doesn't matter what I think. You see your mind of other people's thoughts. That's the only way you're going to be happy as a woman. Because if you've moved like in corporate America, or you just out in the world every day, you're going to always experience something or hear something that is designed intentionally to break your spirit.
That's a fact.
And to make you think less of yourself. If you're not able to go your mind on a daily, you're going to struggle to stay happy as a woman.
That's a fact.
Now, number 4, how do queen conscious women manufacture and maintain their own happiness? Keeping your promises. Queen conscious women maintain their happiness frequency and flow because queen conscious women keep their promises to themselves. You see, everybody else lies to you, and you know what kind of an impact that has on you.
Yeah.
But the thing you haven't thought about is how many times you lie to yourself.
Real talk.
This is what I need to do. This is what I'm going to do. This is what's going to make my life better. And I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do. Every year we have these New Year's resolutions and we lie to ourselves. And at the end of the year that came in, we're still sitting in the same position we were in when we told those lies to ourselves, called a resolution. But you see, if you're gonna be a woman that can manufacture and maintain your own happiness, you're going to have to be a woman that keeps her promises to herself. You see, if you promised yourself, you're not going to settle, and you're not going to allow a person to disrespect you and stay in your life and continue to do X, Y, and Z to you, and then you look around 6 months later and you still sitting in that position and you letting this same individual, this client, Z to you, you know what's happening? You are breaking your own heart. It's only for other people to lie to you. It's another thing for you to lie to yourself.
That
You see,
is
it's
very
kind of
deep.
like if I go out into the world and somebody do some kind of business thing and somebody lies to me, man, that's hurtful. If I go to my church and one of my own church members lies to me, oh my God, that's even more hurtful. If I come home and Lisa lies to me, oh my goodness, I got to have a counselor. I got to have somebody to help me through it. If I'm waking up every day lying to myself, knowing what I need to do myself, I'm going to do this and I never show up for me. What's worse than that?
Mm.
Maybe teaching me to see me lying to myself.
That's deep. Go back to what we talked about, Vanita. Frequency. Teaching people how to treat you. It's all of that. It's all of that. It's all of that. It's hard for, and you and I talk about this all the time. A lot of people can't be alone. So they stay in situation. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just saying they can. It's very difficult. I'm not quite sure what that feels like for them inside. Because I don't live that. I'm so okay with being by myself that
me too.
Sometimes it's hard to allow individuals in on a constant. So for those that are not comfortable in that space, I would say pray on it and really study it, because it seems as though it's more individuals that's not okay with it than those that are okay with it.
I agree. And a lot of women have this thing too about being alone. I don't know if it's boredom or sadness, because again, I don't deal with that. I love being alone. That's my thing, actually.
Same here.
So I don't understand that.
Some of them say that they feel like the walls are closing in on them. And I don't really, it's something to that that's very deep for them. It seems to be a very scary place.
Part of growth, though, part of spiritual growth, I know for sure, is learning to be alone and learning to enjoy your own company. That's one of the biggest things about growing and evolving is getting in a relationship with yourself, like really getting in one with yourself.
I would agree.
Okay by yourself. And
I would say, exactly. And I would say, ladies, you just get super duper pissed off, mad, go ballistic when men cheat on you, but you cheat on yourself. So are you giving the same energy to yourself that you do to them?
That's real talk. I've cheated on myself for sure.
Before. Listen, my New Year's resolution this year is to not cheat on myself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That means holding up boundaries and standards.
Yes,
holding to them, even if it means letting that Negro go.
Yes.
Letting that friend go.
Yep.
Letting, have not talked to my, whatever the situation they be, you got to be truthful to yourself and your boundaries.
That's
and sometimes it hurts to have to do that. It might hurt you worse than them.
It does a lot of times, but on the other side of that hurt is something phenomenal.
It is.
It's priceless that nobody can give to you.
Absolutely.
You're giving it to yourself.
Absolutely. The growth that you can have the evolution, when you choose yourself, it's just a whole nother level. I mean, again, it is. That happiness that comes from within starts from showing up for yourself.
That's right.
Not waiting for somebody to show up for you, not a relationship, none of that. Really showing up for yourself. And going back to number one, a part of that is working on your body. That's showing up for yourself.
That way.
Yeah, just showing up for yourself. So I'm going to let this play because I like this little section. And then he's going to go into the last one.
Okay.
A queen conscious woman keeps her promises to her. Keeps a promise yourself even when it hurts, because sometimes you gotta let the heart break for the soul to heal.
Ooh, I love that. Let me stop that right there.
That's real.
What we
So
just
the
talked
reason
about.
Queen Conscious,
Sometimes you gotta let your heart break for your soul to heal. Meaning sometimes you gotta let that relationship go. You gotta let that friendship go.
Yep.
So you can heal, because it's hurting you. So in turn, you're hurting yourself. That's why he means show up for yourself and be honest. You know you're hurting in this situation. You know it. And you're staying in it. So that means you're lying to yourself.
That way.
It's so important to have a relationship with yourself. Because when you have a relationship with yourself, you're not scared to be by yourself.
Those are
I'm
facts.
not scared to be single. A lot of people scared to be single. The way y'all talk about being single on social media, I be like, y'all would think single is in the grave. It's the craziest thing. I'm like, why y'all make such there's nothing wrong with being single. It's peaceful.
Well, I think that is again perpetuated by the male species a lot of times to keep control. So,
ladies, y'all got to stop listening to men say stuff because they want to control you so they can get to your vagina.
Yes, I mean, even beyond your vagina, we can go into corporate America and they do the exact same thing. They'll do and say anything to control you. It gives them a high. They like the control. It's necessary.
It
does
their ego
on such a deep level.
It feeds their ego. You understand? Men operate out of the ego. So anything they can do to feed that monster, they're gonna do and say. Period. They don't care who hurt.
Yep.
They don't care. They're just kind of how they're wired, and they're not.
It doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter what race, creed, religion, part of the world that they're in. They're all wired the same way.
It is. I pay men no mind. I exist fine with men. I don't have no problems with men, but I don't really pay them no mind because I understand they're not evolved. Exactly. I understand that they process out of the ego. A lot of them have no sense of spirituality whatsoever, so I don't really listen to them.
Yeah,
it ain't no, I talk to them or whatever. We cool, but we're gonna take no advice.
You can tell by their thought process. When you really have a conversation with them, just look at their thought process and what they say and how they move. Look at their lifestyle. It's very simple.
It's very clear.
It is.
And it's not all of y'all. So let me say that. So y'all come on, you can say, no, it's not all of y'all. But it's a great majority.
Unfortunately, like we have always said, it is more than not. And that's where the problem comes in. That's why there's so many podcasts like this out there.
Yes. And it's in your program that way. Society programs men to think and feel a certain way. So that's the mantra in which y'all live by, and you don't feel no need to evolve or change it. So ladies, you got to be aware of this. You got to be aware of who you're dealing with now. Men are not the enemy, but they do process out of ego
that way,
and they're unaware of it. They think this. They think the ego is who they are. They don't think that they're soul. They don't know this. So you have to be conscious of this when you're dealing with them. Oh, he's asleep. He's unawakened. He doesn't know. He's unaware. He's unconscious. And then make the best choice for you, because men want to control you. That's just kind of how they are. Even subconsciously, even ones who say, well, no, it's a subconscious thing a lot of times because they're programmed that way. The matrix brings them up this way.
Exactly.
So let's finish this out.
Stay in their happiness frequency is because they show up for themselves. Listen to what the Bible says in Proverbs 13:12. Hope deferred makes the heart sick.
Yes, it does.
But when the desire cometh, it is a tree of life. So in other words, things have been promised to me, but they never show up, makes my heart sick. But when it actually happens and people follow through and things actually come the way, I expect, he says it becomes you can't for certain say that nobody else in the world is going to show up for you and follow through. But the only person that you know for certain you should be able to control relative to following through for you is you.
Thanks.
Boy.
So if
those
you
are
make a promise
facts.
to yourself, you don't fulfill it, you are poisoning your own heart. But when you come through for you, it becomes a tree of life.
Yes, it does.
And when you show up for yourself, what is happening is you are establishing a standard that if other people can't show up for me the way I show up for me, I don't need you in my life. You teach other people how to love you by the way you love you. You can't recognize authentic love in another person until you manifest authentic love within yourself for yourself. If you don't show up for yourself and if you're constantly lying and you're not coming through for you, maybe evidence that you don't really have a lot of love.
That's it.
But queens keep their promises to themselves. Queens say, well, okay, I need to change this. The only way to change this is D and E. So queens write their vision out. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do A at this time, B at this time, C at this time, D at that time, at this time. And queens show up for themselves because one thing about love is consistent.
Thanks.
And isn't it amazing to be consistent by everybody else? Many women are consistent for everybody else. You're consistent for your man, you're consistent for your children, you're consistent for your job, you're consistent for the church, but you ain't consistent for you. And in the meantime, your life is unraveling because you keep lying to you. Your life is not what it should be because you don't tell yourself the truth. You don't keep your own promises to you. Things that only you can do for you, you still won't show up for you. You show up for everybody else, but you don't show up for you.
Women got it bad.
Real bad.
And number.
Show up for everybody, but
I'm out of here.
Everybody.
And I know that there's more, but I just wanted to share these with you today. How do queens manufacture and maintain their happiness frequency? They practice in solitude.
Didn't we just say that?
Yeah, we did.
With all today, it's making us nuts.
I agree.
We don't have quiet time. There's most homes, including my own, rarely quiet. It's just something blaring, phones ringing, and TVs going, and music playing, and talk radio, and emails, and text messages, and DMs, and social media, and pictures, and it's like you got all noise. The way we live our lives, it would be like trying to live your life in the middle of a rock concert. I mean, like hard rock with guitars and drums 24/7. Trying to be at peace, trying to live your life in the middle of that 24/7. If you're going to maintain your house, to practice intentional solitude. All of us need breaks where we give our minds a chance to breathe. We give our souls a chance. We need to give our souls a respite where we don't have all of this stuff. Developing intentional solitude to purge the intentional toxins that the world deposits into the woman constantly is important. You can't unpack all that stuff and unload all of that stuff until you get to a place where you can calm your world, shut noise out. Shut the noise out. You see, you can't hear God until you shut all of the other noise out.
You know, that was a big, when God started working on me, God put me in solitude. It was just me and God. And I began to hear God so clearly, Vanita, when I shed. This was before the internet blew up and social media and all of that.
Yeah.
Like, I used to be in my apartment with nothing on, like no TV, nothing, just praying or talking to God, because I was in a lot of pain back then. I talked about it on the Twin Flame video. But sitting in quietness is super important. And it's a little bit easier for me because I don't have children. You know, I didn't have children to tend to. So, you know, for mothers, I'm sure it's going to be a little bit more difficult.
I would say this is when you set those boundaries. Ladies, we have to start setting times for these youngsters to go to bed at a particular time consistently, Monday through Friday. We must do that. It's not just for the structure of the kid, but it's for the sanity of yourself.
Absolutely.
Set standardized times for them to go to bed and do not flex from that time. Period. They can't give you no excuses, no nothing. Try it. What do you have to lose? And see if it makes a difference for you.
Absolutely. You need time for self. You need time for just you and God. Because that's how you hear God's direction for your life. When it's clear, there's no distractions. Sometimes don't get on the internet don't get on social media, all day or for a day. Have the social media fast where you're not just going to be plugged into the world. So you can plug back into God and the universe. But that has to be a conscious choice because it's easy to get distracted with life, particularly, like I said, with others, because you have to take, attend to the kids. So like Vanita said, then you have to set boundaries with your children for your own sanity.
Yes.
Right? Because I think a part of the unhappiness that a lot of women feel is no time for self. Or perceiving you don't have any time for yourself, or perceiving you're doing everything for everybody else, but that's a choice.
It is.
It's okay to say no.
Exactly.
Say no. You can't. Today I can't. I just can't. Today. It's okay to say no, even to your children.
Even to your job.
To your job. Everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to set standards and boundaries for yourself. Because people will try to run over you.
All the time.
Or use you. And a part of that knowing how to do it is in where to go if you don't know or you've never been a no person. Because a lot of people are people pleasers.
They are.
Spend time with God. Spend time with God. You say, God, I just pray that shut out the world. In other words, just spend time. You got to take time. And whether it's 5 minutes you in the car, in the shower, because I like to talk to God in the shower, wherever, whenever, take some time for solitude.
Again, like Kanika kind of just said, in the car, when you're driving to work, don't turn on the music.
Don't turn on the music. I don't turn on the music.
I never have the music on. Usually, if somebody get in the car, you got to ask me to. So, but it allows you to be to self. You're in traffic a lot of times because a lot of us are back in the office at least 2 days a week. So turn off the music and just be.
Yeah, learn to just be in solitude without no distractions. It's important for the soul.
It is.
It feeds the soul. Just listening to what he's saying, we'll close it out.
What you need is a revelation from God. You need a divine intervention, but you can't hear God as long as your world is so loud. So Queen's present through meditation, walking in the park, sitting on the bench, observing nature. I'm developing a whole new appreciation for just being outside. And I love the way Isaiah 26:3 reads. It says, thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee. In other words, this person gets to a place where he or she is able to meditate and focus the mind on God, nothing else. This is a place of intentional solitude Women that are able to maintain their happiness, their balance, their peace, are women who know when to pull away, who know when enough is enough, who know how to push the computers aside, the pads aside, the phones aside, shut the ringers off, and just pull away and take a moment. You know, solitude and spending time with God and yourself is true self-care, because it's there that the soul is able to repair from all of the trauma that the world, inflicts upon it. Solitude. So my prayer is that I've said something that resonates with you today, because it is the will of God for you to be able to live your life as a woman in a place of happiness. I mean,
Amen.
Genuine, authentic, sincere
Amen.
happiness in or out of a relationship, with without a man. Happiness. You don't have to have, the Chanel and the Christian Dior, all this stuff to find your happiness. Father, I thank you today for every person that's under the sound of my voice. Let my words soak into it like water into a sponge, into a dry sponge. Let liberty and freedom flow to them. In Jesus' name, amen, 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 amen.
Amen.
Now, listen, if you are
Thank you, Pastor Blakes. He is amazing.
Yes.
If you don't follow him on YouTube, you definitely need to go follow him on YouTube. He has some amazing teachings, particularly geared towards women.
Yes.
He's like the father a lot of women never had.
Yes.
He drops great knowledge, good game, all of that. So if you don't follow him, definitely go follow Pastor R.C. Blakes. But I'm going to go over quickly just what he said and the synopsis of what he said. 5 things to happiness, 5 keys to happiness that we can all implement as women this year if you haven't already. Authentic happiness, not I got in a relationship and I'm happy, or whatever, but happiness even when you're alone by yourself. That's authentic happiness. Nobody can take that away from you.
That's true.
Nobody. Said number 1, likes her reflection in the mirror, makes herself a priority. Talked about looks, getting our weight together. That's important. Me included. Working out, eating better, making better choices, for ourselves and what we put inside our bodies. That's important because it's hard to really love yourself if you don't think you look good. I know a lot of women might not want to admit that, but that is playing a lot on your psyche.
It is.
Particularly weight.
Yep.
I know I feel some kind of goddamn way when I gain weight. I'm not even gonna lie. I feel some kind of weight.
Not the only one. I feel heavy, like I can barely move. So yes.
Yeah, I don't need to. Sometimes I'm I don't like that. So let me try to watch what I eat and all of that. So number 2, generates independent resources to provide financially. Again, you're having your money right.
And that's not just for women. That's for men too. I mean, guys, y'all got to stop being okay with moving in with women. Why would you put your life in their hands? You may not stay. Y'all may not stay together. So then when they kick you out, then what?
He gonna go back to his auntie house.
No, come on, guys. Do better this year. Do better this year for yourself. Don't put yourself in compromising situations like that. No different than having sex with women. Women are not going to have abortions. So stop putting yourself in a situation. You will, yes. But stop putting yourself, gentlemen, in situations that's going to cause your pockets to go low. And then you frustrated and mad because that's what y'all care about. So stop doing that to yourself. You're doing it to yourself. It's not just for women. You too.
Show yourself some self-love.
Yes.
Yeah. This for men too, definitely. Show yourself some self, particularly coming inside of women you know you don't want no baby by because they ain't finna have no boy.
Yes.
Don't do it to yourself.
Please.
Love yourself. Love yourself, fellas. You can do it. Okay. The third one is constantly clear her mind about what others think of her. Don't worry about what people say and what people think. They're going to think what they're going to think. So what? Those are their thoughts. They're entitled to them. They're entitled. People got so many opinions of me and thoughts. They're theirs to have. I don't care.
And then ask yourself, if it is making you feel a way, is that possibly what you think about yourself?
That's real talk. That's real talk.
And
is
ask
what
yourself,
they saying a reflection of how you feel?
You feel exactly, because usually that is the only time that you're going to get a rev or feel some kind of way within yourself.
Yeah.
When they've said something is because you truly feel that way about yourself. So if you don't like that, heal it. Figure out where it's coming from and heal that part of yourself. Ask God to help you heal that part of yourself.
And be truthful. Be truthful about it, which is number 4. Maintains promises of herself by showing up in consistent truth. Be honest. Is that how I feel about myself?
That way.
You don't even got to admit it to the public. Just admit it to yourself.
Yes.
Be honest with yourself. I'd be honest with myself about my BS.
Because again, the public does not matter. The public's not going to heal you. You're going to heal you. You and God are going to heal you. That's it.
And you can't fix what you don't acknowledge.
That way.
You gotta be honest with yourself. And in honesty, looking in that mirror, it's ugly sometimes when you're looking at yourself. But you can only fix it and heal it and you acknowledge that there's a problem. That's why I think my last show that we played was about being honest, always being honest. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that honesty will maybe hurt some people. Your honesty may hurt some people, but at least you're honest and they can respect you for being honest.
That's right.
People will get over it. They'll get over it eventually, but at least you were honest. So important to be honest to yourself about yourself.
Real talk. All
the time. And his last one was practice intentional solitude by giving the mind a rest and self-care. Checking out of the matrix. Turn off the TV, turn off the radio, turn off social media, turn off your phone. Or if you can't do that for whatever reason, in the shower, when are you in the shower or the car?
Music doesn't need to be playing in the shower. Music don't have to be playing in the car. You're not gonna go crazy. Really? Your head not gonna explode just because you turned off the music in the car.
You gotta find some time to be in solitude, to spend time with God. You got to. It's important because that's how you hear God's direction for your life. Don't get so distracted by the matrix, particularly in this day and time, because social media has brought a whole nother monster into the mind. And everything of creation starts with the mind. So if you're letting all this shit bombard your mind, from what people saying on their posts to this blog, to this website, to this, to that, all of that stuff is swirling around. You're not going to be able to hear what God is trying to tell you because you're listening to what everybody else is saying. And unfortunately, with the invention of the internet and social media, you hear the whole world. I think Facebook that says, what are you thinking? I think that's the status. What are you thinking?
That is. When you go to post whatever, that's what they ask you.
We know what everybody's thinking now. So they thoughts in your head, your thoughts, the TV thoughts, it's too much. Shut it out so you can hear clearly from God. Whether it's in 5 minutes, find time to shut out the world. It's important for your soul.
Yes.
For your soul's purpose.
For your sanity.
For sure. For sure. You might not do all of them. You might backslide and slip. But as much as you can, lady, it's okay. We done it. I do it. Let's try to show up for ourselves because no one's gonna love you until you love you
Stop cheating on yourself.
wholeheartedly and fully. Stop cheating on
Yes.
yourself. That's real talk. Wholeheartedly and fully. These men can't. They don't even love themselves. So trying to get it out of them, you're gonna be on it. Haven't you been on a rat on a wheel? Haven't you? Don't you see they can't? They don't got it. Some of them do, very few, but for the most part, they don't know how to do it. So they can't give it to you. But you can give it to you and God. And that's what matters, because can't nobody take that away from you. A relationship will end, a marriage will end, then will come and go. But when you got genuine joy,
your kids will grow up and leave the house.
they will leave you. Gone. Some don't come back. Some don't never come back. So what are you going to do? Start showing up for you, die you. There are a lot of people, it's too much of us looking for shit outside of ourselves and validation, love. No. It's time after that. You got to find that for you. These people can't do that for you. And if they do, it's going to be temporary. And then when they take it away, what's she going to do?
Exactly.
What are you going to do?
That's the thing. That's the thing. That's in
like
happiness. That is in money, finances, what he was just saying. Okay, so ladies, if you have your own, when y'all break up, you got yours.
Period.
You're not relying on someone else. In men, it's the exact same thing. Y'all break up, and then what?
Yeah.
Stop going back to your mama house, your sister house, and your auntie house. Stop.
In other words, she's saying, don't allow a woman to put you out your own house.
Yes.
Get your own shit. Like, don't.
There
are times where you can move in with a woman. If you had a house and she had a house and her house is big, or she had a house and you had an apartment and you just trying to have somewhere to live. When she get mad, she gonna put you out on your head.
Please
get your own shit in 2023. Yeah, don't live with women. Don't allow somebody to be able to dictate your roof.
Exactly.
The place you gotta lay your head. Because she gets upset. You know, women are emotional.
They are.
Mm-hmm. And you will be put out on your head like the cartoon. Nobody throw you out. Y'all see the cartoon, they throw them out the house on their head. Don't be like that.
They do.
Don't be like that. Get your own stuff. Show up for yourself. Just like us women. Show up for yourself, fellas.
Yes.
Caesar said, I wish I would ever live with a woman who name not on a mortgage. Exactly.
Exactly. That's the way you should be thinking.
Exactly.
Gentlemen, please listen to Caesar, because that's how your thought process should be.
Exactly. Show up for yourself. Don't let no woman have no control over you like that. Don't do that.
No.
Don't do that. And women either, you be able to show up for your own life. So when you do meet somebody and it is a good match and vibe and everything is good, you know, you both are whole individuals coming together.
Exactly.
Not a bunch of broken people trying to trauma bond. No, Two whole individuals. So working on yourself will get you there, and you'll have a better chance of making the relationship last or work if you got two whole people showing up, not a bunch of broken people, you know, trying to pull love and validation out of each other because they don't have it for themselves.
Exactly.
That's why it's important to love yourself. I've been on this journey for a long time, 25 years. You know, God showed up in my life to wake me up when I was like 24. So about 20 years I've been on a journey of self-love, and I feel like I'm finally getting there. Just now. You don't beat me, because I wasted a lot of time on BS, focusing on other stuff when I should have been just working on it. That I'm here, and I'm still a work in progress, but I'm beginning to get it now, how important it is to show up for myself. I get it now. Caesar said, he is so funny. He says, I have a new amazing boo. I was in matching pajamas. Oh, you was in matching pajamas on Christmas? You gotta text me the
Congratulations
pictures
to
now.
you. Yeah,
call
I'm
me. I
like,
gotta
can we see what
this
that
one.
look like?
Caesar, definitely call me so we can talk about this new boo and I can see these pajama pictures.
Exactly.
Hi, hey, how are you, darling? Thank you. We are back full force, chopping it up in 2023. So thank
Yes.
you for sticking with us. We definitely gonna be here all this year with all types of subjects, all type of panels, all types of
Yes.
stuff. So we're excited. I'm thinking about some other things I might incorporate as well. So I'll be announcing that a little later on in the year. But yeah, show for yourself. That's how we wanted to start off the new year talking about the foundation really of life is self-love and
That's
how it
right.
affects every other relationship that you're gonna have. You gotta show up for yourself if you want people to show up for you. That's all we're saying. So let's do this together, ladies. So like I said, we might backslide or might not be able to do them all at the same time, but steps.
That's right.
Consistent steps. That's all we need to do. And you'll wake up one day like, you know what? I'm genuinely happy.
Exactly.
I'm happy. So do you have anything? I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to close out. Do you have anything else, Vanita?
No, happy new year to you guys. And we're looking forward to 2023 and what are we doing this year?
Yeah, happy new year. We're excited to be back.
Yes.
We're gonna be delving into some deep conversations about spirituality, about love, about sex, about life, about relationships, about money,
Yes.
all of these things that make up our lives in totality. We're gonna talk about more men's panels, more women's panels, just
Yes.
a lot of
Those
stuff.
are always fun.
Yeah, we definitely can't wait to bring them in back. Yeah.
Yes. It's
I love
always
it.
interesting.
Definitely. But as always, thank you for tuning in. If you're watching live, if you're gonna watch the playback, we appreciate you. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. We do this show on Wednesday night. We just had technical difficulties yesterday. Wednesday night, 7:30, sometimes on the weekend. But if you hit the notification, you'll be notified when we are live. So you can come chop it up with us. So thank you again. Thanks to my beautiful co-host who always shows up for me and shows up for the show. I appreciate all of you. Again, happy new year and have a good night. We'll see you next week. All right. Bye, guys.